You've been putting in the hours, following the plan, and setting clear goals, and still, nothing's happening. Frustrating, right? Trust me, I've been there. But what if I told you that the reason you're stuck isn't because you're being lazy, but because there's a hidden habit that's holding you back? I was stuck in the same place with my business, with my fitness progression, and with my personal life because I didn't realize this was holding me back. But once you spot it, everything starts to click. In this video, we're talking about why you're not seeing progress with your goals and how to fix it. Putting in the effort, doing the right things, and still not seeing the results can be a terrible feeling. For me, when I first started working out, I stayed the same body weight for over 2 years, even though I was hitting the gym every day and doing all the things that I thought were right. But when I learned how to see progress with my goals, I gained over 30 pounds in just 2 months and finally got the abs that I wanted to see. Going to the gym was just one of the ways I was able to see progress. But if you want to start your own business, make 6 figures a year, or get better at talking to women, I'm going to show you how to see progress with your habits and get past those sticking points that's holding you back. So hit that subscribe button for weekly self-improvement content and stick around for the last tip to figure out how to unlock your true full potential. One of the biggest reasons people don't see progress is simple. They don't stay consistent. You might start really strong with a new habit or a new goal, but once that initial excitement wears off, you quit working on the things you were trying to achieve. Those first couple days and weeks are bliss, and you're working at things harder and faster and more efficiently than ever, and then all of a sudden you just stop. You find one little hiccup, you maybe miss one day, you might cheat on your diet, or they fail to meet a goal that they set for themselves. The problem though, isn't that they're not achieving that one particular goal. It's that they let that setback completely define their whole progress, and they start to miss more days, and they start to cheat more on their diet, and they start to completely give up on the good things they were building up just because they failed one time. Having these small failures is incredibly common, and it happens every time you're trying something new. The problem though is because when you're motivation driven, when you're only doing this habit over and over because you feel motivated in that moment, once you fail, that motivation is crushed and it's non-existent. So you need to devise another way to stay consistent. Now, how do you do that? Well, one thing about motivation is while it's great for getting you to act in the short time, it is a fleeting feeling. What that means is when your motivation runs out, there isn't anything in your operating system that's continuing you to push yourself to achieve the goals you want. Motivation runs out for everyone at some point or another, so it isn't a viable long-term strategy. Instead, if you set out to reach a goal and you want to reach it to the fullest extent that you set out to do, you need to replace it with something. You need to replace it with discipline. When you're disciplined, you don't give up over small failures. That's because you have something that's deeper. It's more deeply rooted in who you are that's pushing you to achieve this goal. Versus with motivation, that's a surface level entity, and once that motivation runs out, you're gonna stop, especially when you fail. Discipline provides clarity and illuminates the path of the things that you should be doing every day to achieve your goals. If you're disciplined, you go to the gym half an hour every single day and work up until you're at the point where you want to be. Versus when you're motivated, you hit the gym hard for 5 to 10 days, and then you give up because you're too sore and you don't want to continue. That motivation is unsustainable. It sounds so simple, but you're never going to achieve your goals if you give up. So you need to find a way to where you never give up. And that might require replacing temporary motivation, which feels great in the moment, with discipline, which doesn't feel great in the moment, but is good in the long term. Being disciplined allows you to take small incremental steps that's going to bring you closer to where you want to be. And though it doesn't feel great in the moment, that's what leads to the big results in the long term. So remember, it's the small, consistent changes that you make over time that leads to the biggest results. Even if you missed a day, even if you cheated on your diet, even if you failed to reach a goal, it's not worth giving up on the whole thing. Developing consistency through discipline is the first way to start seeing progress with your goals if you are not where you want to be. Moving on, seeing a lack of progress with your goals can also be caused by simply doing the wrong things. Setting goals is one thing, which is great. But setting the right goals and doing the right things to get there are what actually drives success. Now, this is tricky because you could be busy all day and think that you're striving towards your end goal. But if you're doing the wrong things, you're spinning your wheels over and over for no reason. And all the work you're doing now might just be for nothing. So to make sure you're doing the right things, you have to start by setting the right goals. Now, these goals have to be specific and intentional. This goal can't just be work harder or be more successful, because those are nebulous concepts. You have to set tangible, measurable goals that can be worked on every single day. This should be go to the gym 5 times a week, or read 10 pages of a book a day, or say hi to a random person when I go out on the street. When you set vague goals like get fit, or be a better person, or make more money, you're just going to end up finding things that you're already doing that either supports that conclusion or evidence against yourself to say, wow, I'm a failure. Wow, I'm not getting to the goals I want to accomplish. If your goal is to get more fit, but you don't feel like going to the gym, so you just do a set of 10 push-ups, that is making you more fit, enough to convince yourself that you're actually making progress. But if you had set the goal, go to the gym 4 days a week, you're going to be getting a much better workout, and in return, achieving your goals much faster and more effectively. This is one of the many pitfalls of vague goals, because it will reinforce the bad or medium behaviors that you're already doing and tricking your brain into thinking that's actual progress versus making actual progress. Well, so how do you make actual progress? Well, first, you set a goal that's specific and intentional, and then you do things that is directly pointing to and directly accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself. I can't stress the direct point enough. It has to be exactly aligned with where you want to be. If your goal is to get more fit, while watching a YouTube video about the perfect exercise routine might help, it's not going to be as effective as actually going to the gym and figuring it out for yourself. It's the same with business as it's the same with your personal life. If your goal is to get better at talking to women, don't watch a bunch of TikToks where people give you their Riz tips or something like that. You have to actually go outside of your comfort zone and talk to people in the real world. So bringing it back, figure out exactly what you want to do. And then once you have that, do the exact things that will bring you where you want to be. Remember, watching a video on fitness isn't productive. Going to the gym and working out is. Watching a famous CEO talk about how they created their company isn't productive. Finding a product and doing market research is. When you focus on doing the right things that directly brings you to your goals, every single step you take brings you closer to where you want to be. Moving to the next concept. Distractions and self-doubt are probably the most powerful things that are holding you back and preventing you from getting where you want to be. You could be the smartest, most productive person on the planet, but if you start scrolling and consuming your mind with thoughts of if I'm good enough or if I'm going to be a failure, you will start feeling stuck and overwhelmed. This fear of failure or worry that you're going to embarrass yourself is exactly what's keeping you inside your comfort zone. And the comfort zone is comfortable for a reason. But what you should really be getting comfortable with is the fact that if you want to do anything of significance with your life, it is more than likely going to require failure and or embarrassment in the early stages. I'm gonna make the guess that if you're watching this, you're not the type of person who wants to be like everyone else, to go on about their lives just like everybody else does. You want to do something big with your life. Doing big things with your life, really big things, isn't normal in the sense that normal people aren't doing that. So therefore, by contrast, you are perceived as unnormal. They might laugh at you like, wow, he has aspirations. He really thinks he's going to be a businessman, or he's going to be a YouTuber, or whatever you want to do. People are going to talk the talk regardless. And especially if you're trying to exceed their expectations and do things that you don't even know how to do, they're going to laugh at you. Or they're going to call you a dreamer and that you can't do it. You're just a normal person like the rest of us. And for me, the one that I struggle with the most is them just laughing at you, thinking this guy really thinks he can do these big things. No way. But wear those qualities with honor and say it with your chest. I get fucking pumped every time someone's like, oh, he's bland, he's boring, all he wants to do is work, or he's nerdy, he thinks he's gonna do something. It's okay if they call you boring. It invigorates me. When people say I'm bland, all I like to do is work, I don't want to go out and party, this invigorates the fuck out of me because I am doing things that most people will not do. They cannot do. Let them say what they want to say because they don't understand, but you do. And even if you're at a place where you don't quite know what you're doing yet, if you keep going in that direction, I promise you, you will find a direction, you will find a plan for how to get there. And if you stay focused and stay consistent, you will achieve these things. When I first went into the weight room, I had no idea what the bench press even was. I didn't know anything about form, about sets, what muscle groups I should be hitting. But over time, if you just keep showing up, you just keep learning. When I was starting my business, I had no idea what industry I wanted to do. I didn't know if I had the money to do it. I didn't know where I wanted to go. Do I do financials? Do I do marketing? I had no idea. But as you keep showing up and you keep pushing your limits, you will find out. And this isn't some cheesy motivational pep talk. When you commit yourself to showing up, even when you don't know and you need to figure things out, you have the two options of either figuring things out or giving up. And when the second option just isn't an option, that only leads you to do one thing. But circling back to distractions and self-doubt, a lot of people don't just struggle with other people laughing at them or saying they can't do it. A lot of people feel these things themselves. So how do you overcome those feelings? Well, the feeling of self-doubt usually emanates from a feeling of not being sure if you can do this thing that you're embarking on. And with that feeling of uncertainty, you take the negative, pessimistic stance that, no, I can't do this thing because I'm not sure if I can do it, so I assume I can't. So to counteract this feeling, you keep pursuing in the area you want to focus on and improve on because you want to find those answers. Is it for you or is it not? Thinking about it isn't going to help, but performing action will. If you try to approach a girl one time and she rejects you, you might feel like, man, this just isn't for me. But if you approached 100 women and only got rejected by 10 of them, then it might be for you after all. You have everything to learn when you know nothing. And you're not in the position to deduce if this thing is actually for you or not. That only comes after you've done it for a while. It gets to a point where fear of failure or rejection actually just becomes the counterpart to productivity. Because when you're productive, you bring yourself closer to where you want to be at the same time that you are figuring out, is this for me or am I not good enough at this? Which is the feeling of self-doubt that you were experiencing all along. So fear of failure is just another form of a distraction. It's the same as scrolling on social media or procrastinating the things you need to get done. So make sure to prioritize self-discipline and don't allow yourself to buy into these distractions. The key is to take bold, intentional steps even if distractions and self-doubt are holding you back. Forward momentum leads to more forward momentum, and enhanced clarity that gives you more confidence to do the things you need to be doing and bring you closer to your goals. So we've covered a lot today. Whether it's fitness, career advancement, or indestructible confidence, the way to break through these plateaus is consistency, clarity, and intentional actions, and avoiding the habits that are secretly holding you down. You're so close, and if you can just stay focused and avoid these simple distractions that are holding you back, you're gonna finally achieve the lifestyle that you're working towards. If the things I've said in this video have invigorated you to break through the plateaus you're experiencing and go out and achieve your goals, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I will be posting weekly videos on self-improvement to help people like you break through these sticking points and help unlock your full potential. And being subscribed is a great way to stay up to date with the new content I'm releasing. And while you're at it, hitting the like button and commenting something you found useful from this video is a great way to help me out. In the end, success is rarely about doing more, but it's about doing the right things consistently. If you've been putting in the effort and are not seeing the results, take a moment to evaluate and see where you might be off track. Stay patient and stay focused, and the things you've been working on will start to come to you. Thank you so much for watching and keep pushing forward. Until next time.